What's up? What's up? It's time for Done Way Past Funny with your host, G.D. Fenderson. Join us as we take a look back at the early works of seasoned comedians before they were seasoned with this week's guest, Camilo Diaz. It's time to get down and get dope with Done Way Past Funny. Hi, I'm G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist at large, but I'm losing weight. Thank you for joining us as we continue our interview with comedian Camilo Diaz. Enjoy.
Eagles fans, where they at? Eagles? Eagles. Fuck the Eagles. Why would anybody like the Eagles? Hotel California is the shittiest song I've ever heard in my life. Garbage song. You guys like music?
Yes, sir.
You know who's going to be dropping an album soon?
Whoa.
Michael J. Fox. As a matter of fact, he drops every album he gets his hands on. Boxing fans, you guys like boxing?
Yeah.
No. It's a very opinionated crowd. No, fuck boxing. My favorite boxer is Bernard Hopkins.
Oh, Hopkins.
B-Hop. That's his nickname, B-Hop. If I were a boxer, my nickname would be I-Hop. Bernard Hopkins. He's from Philadelphia. You ever been to Philly?
Yeah.
Great city.
Yes.
City of brotherly love. Yeah, I'm from Germantown, Maryland, city of stepsisterly love. That's where I'm from. Terrible. My parents separated when I was 13. And they were Siamese twins. My mom's like a brick. She's flat on all sides and gets laid by Mexicans. That's rough. That's gotta be. She's not here. Who gives a shit? My uncle has 10 kids. My uncle has 10 kids. He told me that condoms are for pussies. I said, no, stupid, they're for penises. He doesn't know how condoms work. He's a dummy. Yeah. Well, yeah, whatever that guy said. I don't know what he said. You guys like this weather? It's getting hot. I prefer the heat. I don't like the cold. Cold is hard on my body. Baby, it's cold outside. I never understood that song. I guess it's because I grew up poor. Baby, it's cold inside too. Outside or in, pick one. It's the same thing. Yeah. Poor.
Now, have you ever gotten to the point where you were drinking and you were bombing and you blamed the alcohol as opposed to blaming yourself for drinking the alcohol before you got on the stage?
Not really. My performance suffered, but I didn't bomb. I did a good job, but I slurred my words. I fumbled my words. I forgot a joke. I didn't hold the microphone correctly. But usually when I go on stage, I try not to drink. Because, when we do so many open mics, you're at bars every night. You're like, I don't want to, this is like a job. I don't want to drink every night. I mean, not for me. I don't want to drink every night. So most of the times I'm not drinking.
Now, I've only had one drink when I was performing, and that was like 8 years ago. And that was not on purpose. I was you know how there's like your meal is being, being paid for or whatever, and it's coming, and you're going up at a certain time. So I timed my drinks and food to arrive after I should have gone up, and I was supposed to
Yeah.
go. Or actually, my food was supposed to come first, and then I was going to go up, and then I was going to have my drinks. And the host came to me and says, "GD, would you mind going up a little bit later? We have a comedian who has to go up early so that he can return his costume by 9 p.m." And I didn't want to be a dick. First of all, a costume. We're comedians, and he's got a costume. And so, but I said, okay,
Yeah.
you try to be you cordial, because first of all, you want to make friends with every host you can in every venue. So you don't say
Yeah.
no. So I went ahead, and he went ahead, and I went a little bit later. So by that time, my drinks came first. I didn't have my food, and I drank my drink. Then my food came, and I went up later. And by the time I went up, I was pretty buzzed. And the guy
Yeah.
who I swapped places with, his costume was a penis, head to toe, head to toe. The
Okay.
shaft was his head,
Yeah.
and his feet were the ball sack,
Yeah.
and his body was the shaft. And all he did was tell dick jokes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
like I said, and I was pretty buzzed, and so my material landed. If you listen to the tape, I got everybody laughing. The problem was I had lost concept of time. And like I would tell a joke well, it's not a joke. I tell a short story, and I'd look at my wife and I say, "How much time was that?" Then I'd go back and I'd tell another short story, and I look at my wife and I said, "How much time was that?" Because I was so paranoid about running that I'd tell a short story and I look at my wife and I say, like, "So how much time? How much time do I have left?" Not the host. Forget the light. I was looking toward my wife. Like it's her job. You know, and
Yeah.
so and that was
That's
the
funny.
one and only time I went on stage with alcohol in my system. And like I said, and the
Yeah.
audience, the audience uh, laughed, but I think I could have gotten 2 more minutes of material in there if I had not been drinking. So I cheated the audience out of
Yeah.
one more story. I could have gotten 2 more minutes in there, one more story. But
Yeah.
so and now, who were your comedic influences? Okay, forget. I'm sorry, I put you on the spot, and I know you feel like you need to say me, but you don't have to say me. I want tell the audience, other than me, who are your other comedic influences?
Other than GD Fenderson, I think. Well, I'll tell you who my favorite comedian is. Patrice O'Neill. I thought he had rich ideas, very bold, fearless, intelligent. But I'm trying to think of the people who I sound like. Um,
Yeah,
maybe
that's where I was going to
Stephen
go.
Wright
Stephen Wright.
with a dry one-liner. Maybe Mitch
Yeah.
Hedberg a little bit. He did one-liners, but sometimes I'm dry. Sometimes I can, I don't know, put a little flavor in, like Mitch Hedberg. Um, Anthony Jeselnik does one-liners, but they're dark, and I do that. Um, sometimes David Tell can be pretty dirty and sexual and silly, and I do a lot of dirty sexual stuff. Um, but I consumed a lot of Patrice O'Neill, Patton Oswalt, Paul Mooney, George Lopez, Louis C.K. Louis C.K. big influence on me. Maria Bamford,
Yes, yes.
hilarious, brilliant.
Now you have Paul Mooney's
Yeah,
picture on your profile on Facebook, right?
I do.
Um,
Yeah.
are they in rotation? Are you going to go like from him to someone else, or why Paul Mooney right now?
So I've had ever since I joined Facebook, he's been my cover
Okay.
photo. I never put any thought into changing it, but I just knew that that album cover was pretty cool, pretty badass, and I think at the time probably listening to a lot of Paul Mooney, so I said, why not? I put that up, and that was right when I started stand up. I didn't have Facebook. I was exchanging phone numbers, and then people said it's easier if you just get Facebook.
So you have his phone number.
So I did that, and I had other Baltimore comedians' phone numbers. I don't have Paul Mooney's
Okay.
phone number. I
I
never.
I thought that's where you were gonna go. It's like I have Paul Mooney's phone number, but he told me don't use it. Just reach to him on Facebook.
There were chances though because Paul Mooney performed quite a bit towards the end of his life in D.C. and I knew local comedians that would go, and they got the chance to meet him. I could have gone. I didn't go. I was an idiot.
So now, when you're growing up, did you try to make people laugh? And if you did, whose laugh did you work the hardest to get?
Yeah, I would make people. Yeah, I remember being in elementary school on the blacktop, and we just throw around cuss words and just silly ideas and make people laugh, imitate each other. So schoolmates of mine, neighborhood friends. I remember trying to make my parents laugh. My whole life been trying to make my sister laugh. But my high school and my friends from middle school and high school, I'm still friends with to this day. Those guys have been my main audience. We grew up in Germantown, Maryland. A lot of us went to University of Maryland, and we lived on campus. So there was a bunch of us, like 20 of us, living close to each other or with each other, and we would spend 5 days a week. We'd be with each other for like 6 hours, and we would just roast each other, just talk shit about each other, and just try to push it to the extreme. So a lot of my comedy education was probably in college, roasting my friends in somebody's living room, being mean to each other,
So who
stuff
had
like
your
that.
so whose laugh? I mean, your dad, mom, cousins, family, whose laugh did did you, like seeking approval, but whose laughter? If you heard that laugh, that was like, okay, that made my day.
I there was no there was nobody with status whose approval I was seeking. The laughter that I wanted were the hardest laughers. So I had a friend named Dewanch, this Indian guy. When he would laugh, which to get him to laugh hard was difficult, but when he did, this dude went into a seizure and he would shake. Or or some of my friends that like a belly laugh where you're
Yeah.
suffocating, where you can't breathe, where you're about to pee your pants. That I would go for, if I knew I could hit that, I would try to hit that. Try to get those hard laughs. So it didn't matter the person; it mattered the quality of the laughter. That's what I
Now,
chased.
other than laughter, I just wanted to make a note for something. For children, for you kids out there who've never played outside, when Camilo said out on the blacktop, back in the day, we used to go outside and play in the playground, and the playground was made of asphalt. Okay, and that's what he meant by the blacktop. Okay, just so you kids who've never been outside and the only streets you've ever seen are virtual. That's what he's talking about. No,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
now,
yeah,
so other than laughter, because when you're on stage, you get a multiple. Not every reaction you get is laughter. You'll get the person who just sits and
yeah,
nods. You'll get the guy who just points at you,
yeah.
like, or you'll get to someone who doesn't laugh, but they just have a word, like they'll holler out like yeah, boy. So what other than
Yeah.
laughter, You're on stage. What's your favorite thing to hear from the audience?
I know if you do a
Uh,
corny pun, you get
yes,
groans.
yes.
People groan because of how childish. They're like,
But you expect
that's
it. But it's the one.
that's
It's almost as good. It's
yeah,
as good to laugh because you're like, that's what I'm going for. I want that groan.
yeah. Or if you do, if you do some really risky material, like pedophilia or something, rape jokes, you get silence, people nodding their heads, just like protesting in silence. Um, but and then if you do something really clever, real smart, you'll get one person in the audience. They won't laugh, but they'll
Yeah.
be like, "I got you." They're like, "Yep." They'll just give you
Uh,
approval, understanding. I'm like, I'd rather you just
my
laugh.
favorite response.
Tell me,
I mean, well, I had some. I was doing a showcase. Yeah, I was doing. It was a showcase, and I was doing the material, and somebody else, like I said, I do short stories, and some guy yells, "Preach!" and instead of and that was the first time I'd ever heard someone yell. First of all, it's like preach. It's like oh here I'm gonna take
preach. Yeah, I've heard preach
eh,
before.
um I was doing a show a couple weeks ago, and I did a piece. I did a piece dedicated to my wife. She was sitting in the front row,
Yeah,
and it's about a 7 minute bit, and the people in the audience was just lot laughing. And when I was done, I got the applause break that I thought it deserved. And I look over at my wife, and she's not laughing; she's crying. And so when I'm done, I go to my wife. I said, "What's wrong?" She goes, "I said that was for you." She goes, "I know." I said, "Wasn't that funny?" She goes, "It was really funny. It was really, really funny. And you wrote that for me?" I said, "Yeah, but you're supposed to be laughing, not crying." She's like, "But it was so nice. It was really funny."
that's
It's like that's
funny.
the that's and I wrote, and the thing is it was funny, and I knew it was funny, and the worst part is
Yeah,
that I forgot to hit record on my camera. So, but I just
yeah.
but
Ah,
it was just funny to me that my wife was the only person not laughing at the bit because she was like, "Yeah, because it was so beautiful." Did you wrote that for me? It was so
it's
beautiful. That's like-
very sentimental. That's nice. That's cool.
so I'm obligated to say that's one of my favorite reactions. That's not a laugh.
Yeah, I was worried for a second. I thought she was offended and like,
Oh, I
wow.
have a
You
pedophile
know,
joke that
I thought,
she she was offended at the idea that I was telling a pedophile joke, and then once she got to the end
yeah,
of it, then she realized, okay, that is funny. It is funny. Okay, that's funny.
yeah,
And
yeah,
she didn't like it because
yeah,
she thought, well, not that she thought, I used her name as a setup. I introduced my I'll talk about my wife
hmm,
now as a setup to it. And my wife says, I do not want my name attached to that joke. I don't. And then she heard the whole thing,
yeah,
and then she goes, "Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, that is funny. Yeah. Okay. You can use my name then. It's okay."
yeah.
So
Yeah.
so and I feel bad about this. I don't know if you're married and have kids or not. I don't know anything about your personal life. I only know that I like you and you're funny. I don't care enough about you to know about your personal life. Just that I
Thank you.
like you and you're funny. I'm sorry. Did that come out wrong? No. So
No, no, no. It's perfect. I'm not married and I do not have
okay. Well,
kids.
let me scratch that because I was going to ask you if your kids thought you were funny, because that's something I usually ask if people have kids. Do their kids think they're funny, or their spouses if they think they're funny?
Yeah.
That
I got a bunch of young cousins. I think I can make them laugh pretty regularly.
Now,
Kids like it when you learn their slang
yes.
and use it back on them. They think it's hilarious.
Now you can
Yeah.
teach math. Could you teach your same class? Could you teach them comedy? Your same math students, could you teach them to do comedy?
I thought about this. I could put together a course and they could go through it, and I think I could make it fun. But if they're not willing, if they're too shy to get on the mic, it's not going to go well. But I've fantasized about having a comedy class. I would emphasize as much stage time as possible. Get over that stage fright. So I would just have them on stage for 10, 15 minutes at a time, and we just talk. I welcome them to roast me, try jokes, try street jokes.
What you could do to make them comfortable in the beginning is like give them a math equation, but have them say it out loud like it's a joke. And they said when they get to the equals and that part, that's their punchline. And they have to say it like it's a joke, So they would say like the square root of 4, square root of 4 minus the 3 cubed equals, no, I have no idea because I've already lost track. -5. -5. Huh? No, sir, that's wrong. It's because 3 cubed is 27. So that would be minus 22. No, I said square root of 4 is 2. 27. Yeah. So it's minus 20, -25. Yeah. See.
Perfect.
-25. I used to be very, very good at math 12 concussions ago. Yes.
You told me that.
12 concussions ago, I was very good at math. I had a virtual calculator up there. And after 9 concussions, I noticed my math skills were diminishing. After 12 concussions, it wasn't just my math skills that were diminishing. It was also some of my speech patterns and stuff. But after it's amazing. After like 5 years of not having a concussion, I could feel it coming back. So I'm thinking that since I'm in my 60s and my brain skills are coming back because I'm recovering from the concussion, I could be like going through the antithesis of Alzheimer's or dementia. There's getting smarter as I get older, as opposed to getting, because most people as they get older they start to decline. You're like, maybe my brain is like waking up and I could be smarter. I could probably. Well, I don't think IQs grow. I don't know if IQs grow and shrink. I think your brain, the way you process stuff, I don't know. I don't know how IQs work. I just know that mine is broken right now. But sorry, I didn't mean to do. Go ahead.
I think you can improve IQ, nutrition, and mental stimulation. Working.
But
on
are you improving your IQ or just? It's like a car. Let's say you have a car that's 180 horsepower, and the driver you have in it, with his abilities, can only make that car use up to 160 horsepower, whatever reason. Let's say he's afraid to go faster or the fuel, but then you do everything you can to make that car the best it can be, and that car is the best it can be, but it's only 180 horsepower.
Yeah.
All right. So, your CD. What did you record your CD?
I recorded it in 2 places.
I know that club.
Two of the tracks. Yeah. 2 of the tracks were recorded in one night. 2 different shows. two different shows at the same venue called
Okay.
Copacabana. It was this guy, comedian Mike Kurtz, produced the show, and his show was called Crybaby at Copacabana. He booked me for consecutive shows, 8 p.m.,
Okay.
10
Yeah.
p.m. Those are the first two
Yeah.
tracks. And the final track was recorded at Cellar Door in
Right.
Frederick, Maryland, Ryan Nazer's room. Copacabana is in Adams Morgan in
Okay.
DC, 18th Street.
Oh.
And these were recorded, Copacabana was recorded February or March of 2022. And then Cellar Door was, I think, October 2022, something like that.
Cool.
Yeah. There's 4 tracks. The first one is an intro featuring comedian
Right.
Nick Oka, and the other 3 are
Yeah, because I know
stand-up.
one track I think one track is called Copacabana. One track I think is called Cellar Door.
Yeah.
And I think the third track, the
Yeah.
middle track, you actually dedicated to me. I think, if I remember correctly. I can't remember. No, I'm not. No.
I have a track called
That's
Friendship.
it. That's the one that was
That is
dedicated to
true.
me. Yes.
This is dedicated to Judy.
People don't know that, but yeah,
There's-
that's the
yeah.
one you dedicated to me.
Yeah.
I just forgot that you changed the title from Fenderson to Friendship.
I misspelled Fenderson. In that track, I had friends show up to a show and interrupted me like
Oh, okay.
jackasses while I'm performing. So I kind of, tore into them a little bit. That's why I call it Friendship.
Now, if someone were to do a show, produce a show, and in that show you were not allowed to tell your own jokes. They say, okay, Camilo, tell your 3 favorite jokes, but they're not yours. Do you know 3 jokes of someone else's that you would put out there and go like, I really like this, this, and this, and could tell those jokes?
Yeah, I got like 3 or 4 that immediately came to mind.
You don't have to tell the jokes. You don't have to tell the jokes. You can just say who the comedians are if you want. If you want to tell the jokes, you can. Because I don't want you to feel bad if I don't laugh because I've heard that joke so many times. I'm just teasing. No, if you can tell the jokes, or you can just say who the comedians are, or what the jokes are about, whatever.
Louis C.K., Patrice O'Neal, Dan Mintz. I would recite those jokes. Summarize them pretty quick.
I don't want us to get in any kind of trouble. I don't want somebody to think we're not stealing jokes. We're paying you a fucking compliment, okay, Louis C.K.? I hate it because I don't want him calling me because I'm in his speed dial. He'll call me in a heartbeat to complain about something I said bad about him. So go ahead.
Louis said, you can measure how bad someone is by how much time after 9/11 they masturbated. They waited to masturbate. So if you waited a long time to masturbate, you're a good person. If you waited a short time, you're a bad person. So Louis said, for me, it was between the first and second buildings being hit is when he masturbated. He couldn't wait. So that's the... Dan Mintz had a couple jokes. Dan Mintz said, I used to date this chick. She was half Asian. Her mother was Korean. Her father was Korean. And her legs were in a car accident.
That's a joke. I could imagine you telling. I mean, like, I could imagine you writing that joke and telling it.
I forgot to say Dan Mintz, one of my influences, but I discovered him late in my comedy career. But I was jealous. Yeah. I love that joke. It's an amazing joke. Yeah. He had another joke. He said, I went to a bachelor party. They had a bulimic stripper. It was the first time I seen the cake jump out of the stripper.
Hi, I'm G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist. Please join us as we continue our interview with comedian Camilo Diaz. And when you come back, bring a friend, and please remember to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.